Robin Vax on row 7. Kart's coming out on circuit. Now, interestingly enough, all the drivers have to fill out a commentator's information sheet. Stephen Lyle, British driver in kart number 227. One of the, how should we call this, the more experienced drivers. Well, he's old, let's be fair. He's older than me, and so that means he's pretty old. He is there. He's going to be starting on the 6th row of the grid, and interestingly enough, on his commentator's sheet, say, who are your heroes? Well, obviously Mr. Lyle is a man of impeccable taste, because his racing idol, none other than karting mechanic supremo James Bean, and of all the drivers in the world to model yourself on, double junior TKM champion from the UK in the mid to late 90s, James Bean is possibly the best role model, not only in karting but in life itself, and that's why Stephen Lyle is starting on the 6th row of the B final, I am sure. So in this race, drivers from Germany, Ireland, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, Sweden, Estonia, Finland, Bulgaria, the Philippines, the UK, all represented. Jacob Ang, and I will say this one more time, the 15-year-old from Wak Wak Village in Mandaluyong City in the Philippines. His favourite circuit is Macau, which is a very good choice. His hero is Sebastian Vettel, and his hobbies are shooting. Now, I know that the Prime Minister of the Philippines has some pretty radical ideas about how to deal with criminals in the city of Manila, and I'm not quite sure if Jacob Ang is being slightly mischievous there by saying he likes shooting, or whether it's just a hobby, or whether he actually likes going out and shooting criminals. I don't know. Couldn't possibly comment. So the drivers are on their rolling lap, their second rolling lap, in fact. You can see the number 227 car. There's Stephen Lyle. There he is. He's got his James Bean race suit on. He's puffed it out, so he looks like James. But it's Patrick Degenbeck and Jonathan Brown. Brown there with the luminous green stripes on the side of his nose cone, who is coming to the line. Lights are out, the first of 11 laps. Who is going to finish in the top 6? If you finish 7th on back, your weekend is over. Can't make a mistake. You've got to try and stay as close to the front as possible. And it is Degenbeck who leads into turn number 5 on this 1,360 metre circuit. Jonathan Brown has dropped back to 3rd place, but he won't be panicking, that is fine. Into the button chicane at the end of the back straight. Now round through turn number 7 they go. It is Marius Solly Poulsen in kart 217. Another CRG chassis who has moved into P2. Then it's Jonathan Brown down the infield straight towards the spectator area into turn number 9. Solly Poulsen from Norway, who didn't make it out of the B final at the Winter Cup. He's looking to try and make it into the main event in this, the opening round of the 2017 championship. Through turn number 11, they accelerate out of turn number 12. Brown looks to the inside, and he looks like he doesn't make the move. Behind them, that bright blue kart, that is Finland's Levi Lintokanto on the Energy chassis with the blue nose cone. In kart number 264, he had a couple of mechanical issues yesterday which have pushed him back. Number 229, Nicolas Bayet of Belgium is in 4th place. Then it's a good start from Gregor Yates from the 4th row of the grid, the Estonian driver in kart 263. He runs in 6th position. So he is the driver in the final transfer spot. He's got the light green coloured nose cone, the green and white coloured nose cone of the AIX racing team. Their normal karts are coloured turquoise. That's obviously a sponsor colour. And as they complete lap number 2, it's still Patrick Degenbeck leading. Just behind Yeats in 7th place, kart number 272, Jacob Ang. And the Piers Sexton racing driver is only a 10th down, but he has got to try and make that move. Then it's Niels Koelen, the Sign Mind racing driver. You can see at the back of your screen there with the black crash helmet. Stephen Lyle is 9th. And then the last 3 drivers of this 12 driver grid, Sander Sepp, Robin Vax and Christian Christoph. Up at the front though, Jonathan Brown makes the move for the race lead. So the Irishman in cart number 215, the 16-year-old from Ratoth, who had a mechanical issue in the Winter Cup, finished last, but is now trying to make his way into the final. He leads, and the front 2, 4, 6, 8 make that 9 drivers all in a line. And there's Degenbeck going back at the inside of Brown, and he did give Brown just a little bit of a helping hand there. Behind them, with the very flat looking NASA panel, Levi Lintocanto is up into P2, so Brown back to third, and that Energy chassis is looking a little bit more streamlined than most, with the NASA panel caved in. I haven't seen any contact, but maybe it just went out looking like that. Who knows? And Lintocanto certainly got the bit between his teeth. Just behind the top 3, Nicholas Bayet in number 229 is 4th. Then it is Marius Solly Poulsen now back to 5th. And we seem to have lost the number 267 cart. That's Sweden's Oliver Orenstedt. He's clocking up as a lap down, although I can see 12 drivers on circuit. And there's a move for the lead. There goes Levi Lintocanto into top spot. Jonathan Brown goes through as well. And that pushes Philip Degenbeck back to third. Robin Vax with the fastest lap of the race. Vax down in 10th position, but he's in 10th place and closing in on the lead pack. And the lead group are very, very close. The top 5 are single file. There's a huge scrap for 6th position. At the moment, it's Jacob Ang and Stephen Lyle, 6th and 7th in the final 2 transfer spots. They've made their way past Niels Koolen, and Lintocanto under pressure there from both Brown and Bayet. Bayet in cart number 229, the RSD racing team, as they come towards turn number 11. Then we've got the 2 CRGs of Philip Patrick Degenbeck and Maria Solly Poulsen. And then in 6th position, you can just see it on your screen on the long shot, the white and pink coloured cart, as Brown takes the lead again. So Brown back in front, Bayet follows him through, Lintocanto slips back to third. Now, it's not the best tactics. There's number 227, Stephen Lyle. He is the man in 6th place, the final transfer spot at the moment, going through turn number 5. Lyle is just 0.4 of a second in front of his teammate Jacob Ang. You can see the 2 white, pink and blue carts at the back of your screen there. 5th, 6th and 7th place. At the moment, Lyle is in, Ang is out. And behind Ang, there's a bit of a gap back to Niels Koolen. So there's 2nd and 3rd, Levi Lintocanto. Will he make a move? Normally you'd see that the leaders all try and get in single file as quickly as possible to avoid battling and to try and pull away from the chasing pack, because the winner of this race starts the pre-final 29th. So even if you win, you've still got a lot of work to do in the pre-final. Obviously the 6th and final qualifier starts 34th, but 29th to 34th, well, it's not much of a difference really, is it? So 13 drivers. Jacob Ang sets the fastest lap of the race as he chases down his teammate. Now he is chasing Stephen Lyle. He's got a little bit of a gap behind to Niels Koolen, Robin Vax, Christian Christoph, Gregor Yeats, Sandor Sepp, and then at the back of the pack, Olivier Orenstedt, who is a lap down, and I didn't see what happened to Olivier, but he is still out there, but a lap behind. So really, at the moment, the top 12 drivers are all within 4 seconds of Jonathan Brown, your race leader, as we begin lap number 8 of 11. Now we're getting towards the business end. Through turn number 1 we go. Brown and Bayet. There's Stephen Lyle, 227. Last transfer spot. He's got his teammate Jacob Ang right behind him. And Stephen Lyle is going to try and make a move on Marius Solly Poulsen going into turn number 5. So Poulsen in the number 217 cart, that CRG chassis. The Norwegian driver is hanging on to 5th place, but if Lyle can get past him, then Poulsen is on the bubble, as they say in the United States. Levi Lintocanto is in 4th. Patrick Degenbeck has moved up into P3. There goes Patrick. And there's the battle of the 6th, and moving into 8th place now is the number Well, it's Robin Vax, kart number 260. So Vax in that predominantly white chassis, ahead of Niels Koelen, the driver with the black crash helmet. They're chasing down this lead group. Now, Brown, Bayet are pretty comfortable at the moment. That's the chasing pack go through, 263. That's Gregor Yeats. And Gregor Yeats down in 12th place. So the top two are clear. Then it is Degenbeck and Lintercanto, 3rd and 4th. And then these three kart battles for 5th, 6th and 7th. And catching them all is the number 260 of Robin Vax. So Vax, who was setting fastest laps earlier on in this race, he's closing in on Jacob Ang. Now Jacob Ang's got to try and get past Stephen Lyle. Stephen Lyle's got to try and get past Marius Solly Poulsen. And Robin Vax has got to try and get past two drivers to get himself in. We complete lap number 9. Go on to the penultimate lap. Brown and Bayet are clear. There is Stephen Lyle chasing Marius Solly Poulsen. Can't make the move into turn number 1. And he's got Jacob Ang right behind him. There's Ang coming out of turn number 3. And Ang is just 2 kart lengths behind his teammate and 5 kart lengths in front of Robin Vax. But Vax has just set the new fastest lap. Vax is going to put Ang under pressure. Lyle checks over his shoulder to see just how much of a breathing space he's got, and the answer is he hasn't. He's got to try and focus on getting past Marius Solly Poulsen. At the moment, Piers Sexton is looking at one driver qualifying for the main event and one driver finishing early. Through turn number 9 go the lead group. Marius Solly Poulsen, meanwhile, in kart 217, he's caught Levi Lintercanto and Patrick Degenbeck. 2, 4, 6 karts flashing through your screen. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. As we start the final lap, is Lyle going to make his move on Solly Poulsen? Oh, there goes Vax up the inside of Jacob Ang. Has he made the move stick? I think he has. Yes, he has. So 260 now into 7th place with another new fastest lap. But Robin Vax has still got to try and get past Stephen Lyle. Lyle checks over his shoulder again. He realises his teammate is no longer behind him. It's now Estonia's Robin Vax trying to make his way into the main event. Up at the front, Jonathan Brown and Nicolas Bayet. They are less than half a lap from home. Degenbeck is 3rd. Lintercanto is 4th. Marius Solly Poulsen still 5th. And Stephen Lyle under pressure. Lyle and Vax. Vax makes the move on Lyle, I believe. Is Robin Vax about to pass 2 people? He has. He's got past Stephen Lyle. Jonathan Brown takes the win. Bayet 2nd, Degenbeck 3rd, Lintercanto is 4th, Solly Poulsen is 5th, and driver number 260 going through your screen there. Well, that's Stephen Lyle and Jacob Ang, the 2 Piers Sexton drivers, getting passed by that man, 260. Robin Vax, he overtakes 2 drivers on the final lap to make it into